She was born without eyes. Not blind. No eyes at all. Just smooth skin where they should be. The midwife dropped her. The room went cold. Not night cold. Not harmattan. Old cold. The kind that makes your bones remember something you don't understand. Her father stood at the door. He looked at the child once, then said, "Take her to the river before sunrise." Her mother said nothing, but her grandmother stepped forward, carried the baby,
You will not kill
held her
what
tight.
you fear.
"You will not kill what you fear," she said. She named her Anyaoma. Beautiful eyes. The women laughed, quietly, because the child had none. But every morning for 11 years, before the sun came up, Anyaoma would sit up, turn her face to the window, and describe the whole day. The rain, the fights, the deaths, everything. She was never wrong. Not once. Until one morning, she said, "Today, they will come for me." A pause. Breath. Stillness. Today, they will bury me. She was 11 years old. Her grandmother's house stood at the edge of the village, far enough to be ignored, close enough to be remembered. The village was called Ifeobia, a place of red earth, tall trees, and people who watched everything but spoke only when it was safe. Nyaku lived alone there before Anyaoma came. She was old, but not weak. Her back was straight. Her hands were strong. Hands that had buried people, hands that had carried pain, hands that had learned how to survive without asking for help. When she brought Anyaoma home, she did not announce it. She did not explain it. She simply began. She bathed the child, fed her, wrapped her in soft cloth, sang to her at night. She did not treat her like something strange. She treated her like something that belonged. That was the first thing the village did not understand. The second thing was the shadow. There was none. At noon, when the sun stood high, every child cast a shadow, every tree, every goat, even the smallest stone. But not Anyaoma. She stood in the light, and nothing followed her. Children noticed first. They always do. They would come close to the compound, stand at a distance, point, whisper, "Look, look at the ground. She has no shadow. Don't let her touch you." Then they would run, laughing, but not freely. There was always fear inside it, like a joke told too close to danger. Anyaoma did not chase them. She did not call them back. She would simply sit, listening, smiling at something no one else could hear. When she was 3, something changed. It was a quiet afternoon, hot, still. The kind of day where even the wind refuses to move. Nyaku was outside, cutting vegetables. Anyaoma was playing with a small wooden doll. Then suddenly, she stopped. The doll fell from her hand. She tilted her head, slowly. "Ne," she said. "Someone is standing behind you." Nyaku did not turn, not immediately, because something in that voice was not normal. "Who?" she asked. "The woman," Anyaoma said. "She is tall. She is broken. Her face is not staying in one place." Nyaku turned. Nothing. Empty air. Silent doorway. No one there. Her chest tightened. "There is no one," she said. Anyaoma frowned. Not confused. Certain. "She is there," she said softly. You just can't see her. That night, Nneaku did not sleep. She lay awake, listening to the child breathe and thinking. This was not blindness. This was something else. Something deeper. Something older. By the time Anyaoma turned 5, the mornings began. It always happened the same way. Before the rooster, before the light. That quiet moment when the world is not yet awake. Anyaoma would sit up slowly, turn her face toward the window, and go still. 3 breaths, no sound. Then she would speak. The goat will break its rope. The rain will fall before noon. The blacksmith will shout at his apprentice. Small things, at first, things that sounded like guesses, until they happened. Exactly. Not almost, not close. Exact. Nneaku tested it, ignored it once, just once. Do not go to the market today, Anyaoma said. Why? Nneaku asked. You will carry Mama Chioma. She will fall. Your back will break. Nneaku went anyway. Because life must go on. Because food must be sold. She was there. Mama Chioma fell. She carried her. And something in her back never healed the same. After that, Nneaku listened. Every morning. Every word. She kept a small clay pot beside Anyaoma's mat. As the child spoke, she pressed her fingers into the clay, to remember, to hold the words, because they felt important, too important to forget. One evening, Nneaku asked her, "Does it bother you, not seeing?" Anyaoma turned toward her, smiled, calm, quiet. I see everything, Nne. I just see it before it happens. And in that moment, Nneaku understood. This child was not looking forward. She was remembering something. Something the rest of them had not lived yet. And every morning, she was bringing it back, piece by piece, day by day, until the day it would come for her too.
Anyaoma grew, but the village did not change. It only learned how to hide itself better. She laughed easily, soft, light, like nothing in her carried weight. She loved birds, not just their sound, their meaning. She would say, "That one is warning, that one is waiting." And Nneaku would listen, because she had learnt. She knew footsteps, every one. Before a knock came, she already knew who stood outside. Nne, the blacksmith is here. Nne, the trader is afraid today. Nne, the chief's man is coming. She never missed, not once. But the village never called her by name. In the open, they had their stories. 3 of them. The first, she did not exist. The clean lie, the one they told themselves to sleep well. The second, she was a curse, something born wrong, something that should not have stayed. The third, she was dangerous, too knowing, too different, too much. So they erased her, in sunlight. Her name was never spoken in meetings. Children were warned, do not go near that compound. Women lowered their voices when passing. Men pretended they had never heard of her. And the chief, Igbo, stood tall in front of the village. He laughed loudly. He spoke clearly. "We do not follow witchcraft," he said. Twice, at 2 different festivals. But silence remembers what words hide, because he had gone to her more than once, quietly, without witnesses, and he had left with answers. And he was not the only one. They came, one by one, never together, never in groups, because groups make truth real, and they were not ready for that. The blacksmith came. His fire had stopped obeying him. Anyaoma said, "Your apprentice steals from you. Nothing more." He left. No thank you, no eye contact. 1 week later, his fire burned strong again. The chief's wife came. Her voice was shaking. She asked about her husband. Anyaoma listened, then said, "He will look elsewhere, but he will not stay there." Pause. His pride is wandering, not his heart. The woman stood still. Then she left, without a word. Others came too. A farmer, a trader, a girl in love, all asking, all receiving, all leaving. No one said thank you, because you cannot thank what you pretend is not real. Anyaoma never questioned it, never asked why they came in darkness, never asked why they denied her in light. She only spoke, like breath, like truth had no owner. Nyaku watched from the doorway, always watching, always silent, her fingers pressing deeper into clay, holding every word, every moment, every quiet betrayal. And the chief, he came the most, 7 times in 4 years, always alone, always careful. He asked about rain, about rivals, about danger. Anyaoma told him everything, and he used it every single time. His rule grew strong, his name grew big. The village praised him, but he never said her name. Not once, not in public, not in private. Then one afternoon, everything changed. The chief's son came, Chukwuebuka, 17, bright, fearless in the way young people are. He did not sneak. He walked in openly. 2 friends behind him, eyes wide, curious. He stood in front of Anyaoma and simply asked, "What do you see for me?" Anyaoma was quiet, longer than usual. 1 breath, 2, 3. Then she spoke, calm, clear, certain. "I see you leading this village." Pause. "I see new crops growing where nothing has grown for years. I see the broken road repaired. I see a school built with stone. I see children coming from other villages to learn here." The boys shifted, excited, hopeful. Then she continued, softly, "I see your father's name in the ground before it begins." Silence, heavy, unavoidable. Chukwuebuka swallowed. "Does he die soon?" "No," she said. "He lives long." Pause. "He will see it start." Another pause. "But they will call his time preparation, not greatness." The air changed. Something invisible broke. By evening, the chief heard everything, every word, exactly as spoken. He did not go to her. He did not send for her. He sat alone, holding the truth like fire in his hands. He was not cruel. He had never wanted to harm a child. But this was different. He had spent years building his name, and a child, an 11-year-old girl, had just reduced it to something smaller. He thought all night, no sleep, no peace. By morning, he made a decision. He would do nothing. If anything happened, he would not stop it. No order, no command, no violence. Just silence. And silence can be louder than anything.
The morning came slowly, like it did not want to arrive. The air felt heavy, thick, wrong. Anyaoma woke before the birds, before the light, before even the silence settled. She sat up, turned her face to the window. 3 breaths. Then, "Nay, today they will come." Neaku froze. Her hands trembled. "What do you mean?" she whispered. Anyaoma's voice stayed calm. "The young men from the upper compound, they have been talking for days. Last night, they decided." "Decided what?" "That I am what they have always said." A pause. "That the chief has stopped saying otherwise." Neaku stood up fast. "I will go to him." "Sit down." That voice. Not a child's voice. Something deeper, older. Something that does not beg. Something that already knows. Neaku sat down. Slowly. Her chest rising, falling. Anyaoma spoke again. "I have seen this before. Not today exactly, but this path, this ending." A small pause. "I did not know it would come like this." Silence. Then, "Cook for me." Neaku blinked. "What?" "Pepper soup. The way you make it when something good is happening." Neaku's lips shook. "This is not now, Ne. Cry later. I can hear it already." So Neaku cooked. Her hands shaking. Her heart breaking. They ate in silence. Before sunrise, before the world chose what it would be. That day, moved exactly as Anyaoma said. The healer came, sat, left before noon. 2 women brought food. 1 stayed, 1 ran. At midday, voices. Men. Not loud, but certain. Neaku grabbed Anyaoma's hand. Tight. "I am not afraid for you," she whispered. "I am afraid of what I will become after." Anyaoma squeezed her hand. "You will be fine. I have seen that too." Calm. Like always. Then they came in the evening. 7 young men. Dust on their feet. Decision in their eyes. No shouting. No chaos. Just purpose. Tobina stood in front. 19. Strong. But his eyes. Unsure. Neaku stood in the doorway. Old. Alone. Unmoving. "You will not touch her." No one listened. Anyaoma stepped forward. Small. Still. She turned her face toward Tobina. That smooth skin. Where eyes should be. And she said softly, "You will regret this." Silence. Something shifted. For just a second. Tobina hesitated. Then, he hardened. "Take her." They moved. Fast. Rough. Neaku screamed. Fought. Fell. Dust rose. Feet scattered. And just like that, Anyaoma was gone. But this was not what she saw. Not exactly. Because far from the village, beyond the trees, beyond the path, another set of eyes had been watching. Chukwuebuka, the chief's son. He had heard the prophecy, every word, and something inside him refused it, refused the ending. So he followed, quiet, careful, angry. They dragged her into the forest, deep, far from voices, far from help. The plan was simple. Bury her. End it. End the fear. End the discomfort. Tobena raised his hand. Do it. But before anything moved, a voice cut through the air. Stop. Sharp. Commanding. They turned. Chukwuebuka stepped forward. Alone. But unafraid. You will not touch her. Tobena laughed. This is not your matter. It is now. Silence stretched. Tension thick. Then Anyaoma spoke. Soft. Calm. Chukwuebuka, you came. Tobena stepped forward. This is bigger than you. Chukwuebuka didn't move. No, it is smaller. He pointed. You are afraid of a child. That hit. Hard. The men shifted. Uneasy. Anyaoma stood still. Then she said quietly, if you kill me, everything changes. They laughed. Nothing changes. She shook her head. You stop being protected. Silence. You think I was the cause. A pause. I was the wall. Now, fear. Real fear. But pride is stronger than fear. Sometimes. Tobena clenched his fist. Enough. He moved. Chukwuebuka moved faster. One push. One clash. Chaos. Men shouting. Dust rising. Bodies colliding. But they were not fighting for her, really. They were fighting themselves. Their fear, their shame, their doubt. And in that confusion, Chukwuebuka grabbed Anyaoma. Run. They ran. Through trees. Through thorns. Through breath and fear and destiny breaking open. Behind them, silence fell again. But something had changed. Something big. Something dangerous. Back in the village, night fell. Neaku sat alone, waiting, broken, listening. Then, footsteps. 2. Running. Coming closer. Her heart stopped. Then started again. Fast. The gate burst open. And there, covered in dust, breathing hard, alive, Anyaoma stood. Neaku screamed, ran, held her, tight, too tight. You came back. Anyaoma smiled. I told you, not everything I see must end the same way. Behind her, Chukwuebuka stood, quiet, watching. And in that moment, the future shifted. Not gently, not quietly, but violently. Because the village thought they buried something that day. But what they actually did was wake something up.
Soon after, the chief, Igbo fell ill. Not slowly, not gently. 1 week he stood tall. The next he could not rise. Fear moved through the village. Because they remembered every word. Before the next harvest, Chukwuebuka took the throne. Young, but firm. His first law was clear. No harm must come to Anyaoma.
Not by hand, not by word, not even in thought. And this time, the village listened. Things changed. Fast. Then faster. People came in daylight. Open. Respectful. Calling her name. Anyaoma. The girl they once feared became the voice they trusted. The rains returned. Heavy. Blessed. The land answered. The village grew. Roads were fixed. Children learned. And her name spread far, wide, across villages, across lands. The seer who never misses. They came every day. Farmers, warriors, mothers, strangers, all seeking her, all believing. And still, every morning, she woke before the sun, turned to the window, 3 breaths, listening. Until one day, the wind changed. Different. Cold. Wrong. Footsteps approached the hut. Slow. Certain. A man stood at the door. Neako looked up and froze. Her face drained. Her hands trembled. Because this one she had seen before, but not in this life.
And inside, Anyaoma whispered, "He is not here to ask a breath. He is here to take." The door creaked open, and the future shifted again.